All right, everyone. Hello and welcome to the first round of the PSEL playoffs. Today we have the Biglerville A team taking on the Greensburg-Salem team. This is the number 1 versus number 16 matchup. Top 16 teams make it to the playoffs in the PSEL. So this is round 1 action. No buys as the 16 teams gives us a nice full bracket. And winner advances will play next week on Monday at 3:30. So let's get to the action here as both teams still locked at 0, 30 seconds into play. Looks like we have our colors right this time, so that's good as Bunch takes it to the air, tips that one on net, a little bit high. It's going to get taken there by Vanders. Blah keeps it in the zone for Biglerville, tips it off to the sidewall for Bunch. Bunch puts it off the back wall, looks for a double tap attempt, has it, but the defense stays solid for Greensburg-Salem. As Blood now looks to try to make a nice save right in front of the net and buys his teammates some time to get back in the position. Now Greensburg looking for a centering pass. Defended well there by Vino. Goes up ahead for Bunch. Bunch with a centering pass for Blood, but that one's going to get knocked away by the defense. Biglerville dumps it back in the zone. Tries to keep the pressure on, as their typical style. Vanders with a very nice little double tap off the backboard to clear the zone. Blood is met. He's getting challenged everywhere. No boost. He's got to cycle out here. Vino takes the ball, tries to clear the zone, but's kept in here by X-Set Ducky. Blah is going to now take control as he pops this one to the area again. He is met. The Greensburg-Salem team's done a really good job of going up and meeting him in midair, not giving him space to work his mechanics. Hopefully this Biglerville team makes some adjustments, starts looking for pass opportunities off when Blood has the ball, and is able to capitalize off of those challenges. But no, good work here by the Green-Salem defense so far, as we are nearing the halfway mark. Still zeros on the board for both teams, just still feeling each other out. There's been some opportunities, but really good defensive positioning by both teams so far. Now Bunch looking to, he leaves it for, I think that was Blub, but this one goes 50 right in front of the net. Bunch with a double tap attempt. No, it's just wide. Vino tries to follow, but that one's going to go high and wide, where Bunch will try to take over. Blub keeps it in the zone. Ducky's going to try to clear it. Nope, Vino is there to crash. Keep the pressure on. Camera wasn't even sure who to follow there, as there are multiple people in that corner. But good recognition by the Biglerville team as they rotate out of it, and Blow with a great shot, saved. Huge save coming out there by the Greensburg-Salem team, as that shot was dangerously on target, but everybody was home and managed to keep that one out. Shot goes just a little wide. Blow's there on the follow. What a save from Ducky. This shot ends up going, getting saved by Bunch of the Hunch. Now Bunch takes it over the middle. Ends up leaving it for Blood. Blood takes a shot. That one, unfortunately, doesn't get much pace on it. Easy save for the Green-Salem defense. Green-Salem trying a little pinch, but unfortunately just pops up, and Blood takes advantage of that. Puts it home off of the defender's roof. Almost makes the save, but doesn't get enough of it to redirect it out of the net. It ends up going off the crossbar, down and in. Biglerville on top, 1-0. You can see here, if we take a quick look at the stats, that 8 saves coming out for this Green-Salem team so far. Ducky now with a shot. Bunch is there for the save. To Vanders. Takes it off the sidewall. Vino reads it, dumps it in the zone, looking for a shot out of the corner. Met there by the defender. Now Blow with a centering pass, but oh, it ends up being a pass to himself. He doesn't need a teammate. He just dishes it off of the backboard into the net. Blow puts Biglerville on top, 2-0. Just under a minute left here in game number 1. Well, Blood takes the face off, gets collected there by Green-Salem, but not a controlled touch. They end up yielding control. Bunches up with a double tap. And with authority, Biglerville on top 3-0. Great angle, great vision on that. Evanders tries to make that touch to the backboard. He's been making that touch all game, but Bunch manages to find a spot where he's not quite able to get to. Maybe just a hair too awkward. Takes advantage. Biglerville's turned it on, and speaking of which, they strike yet again. That is their third goal in the last 15 seconds of gameplay, I believe. Yeah, I think it was 2-0 at 57 seconds. So in 13 seconds of gameplay, they've managed to score 3 goals. Got to wonder if Green Salem isn't trying to get a little bit more risky, feeling like, oh, we've got to score. We got to get out of our defensive rotation and get to offense. And it's just been Biglerville capitalizing on that. Not sure, as we'll have to see what kind of adjustments both teams make coming into game 2. Right now, Biglerville doesn't need to change a thing as they're striking on all cylinders. There's a pass from Vino to Bunch and Bunch to Blah. Now just kind of taking their time with it, playing keep away. The time is now winding down. This game will be in the books. They don't have to protect that lead anymore. They can have a little fun with it while they try to keep it up. Green Salem with the ball, tries to dump it in the zone. Bunch keeps it up. Again, the game is not over till that ball touches the ground. There it is, and Biglerville takes game number 1 by a score of 4-0. We'll be right back with game number 2 after a real short break. Do not go anywhere. And we are back with game number 2. This is now a best-of-7 series, actually, I just remembered. So we're going to fix that on our overlay. It's not a best-of-5. It is a best-of-7 as we are now in playoffs. The regular season were always best-of-5s. But we are in the playoffs now as Blood looks to take it out of the corner. Gets met there by the crashing player from Green Salem. But Bunch is able to keep the ball out of the zone. Now Blood looking to push on the other end. Gets a centering pass, but that one goes just over the net. Bunch is there to meet it in the corner. Apologies, to fix some audio issues there. Blood now looking at the ball in front of the net. Takes a 50. Tries to be harassing there in the corner, just getting the player's way. Bunch there to back him up, but that one's going to get tipped over him. He ends up passing it back to Blah. Blah takes a 50. This ball's going to waterfall down in front of Biglerville's net. Vino's there to make the catch as nobody crashing for Van Salem to capitalize. Vino with the ball in the corner, looking for a centering pass. Bunch was there, but wisely turns away as he knows the defender was going to beat him with that ball. And now Bunch off the back wall. Will take it to the air. Gets the dribble going with a little foot reset. Maybe a ceiling shot. Not sure which one that was. Vino. Nice little pass up for Blah. Vanders beats him to the ball. Is going to be able to get it back down, but doesn't put that on net. Puts in the corner. This is a shot on net, however, and Greensburg Salem gets their first goal of the series off of a beautiful pass there. Unfortunately, it came off of the car of Vino, but if Vino hadn't touched it, it also would have been a tricky situation. Unfortunate. He kind of found himself in between a rock and a hard place there in that corner. As Biglerville now needs to respond. Bunch puts a shot on the corner. It's saved. Vino with the follow. Saved again. Blow will try to collect off the sidewall. No, he misses his touch. He ends up trying to just back pass it. gets it to Bunch. Stolen away by Ducky. Vino with a little flick, but not over the defender. However, this ball goes safely to the corner where Blah is waiting for it. Blah to the air, gets a flip reset past one. Not past Ducky, however. But Biglerville does keep the ball in the zone, tries to keep the offensive pressure going. No, this one's going to get cleared. It's going to go just up the post as that one sails just wide of the net. But Greensburg keeps possession of the ball for now. No, Blood tips it past the last two defenders, but just off target. Vino's there to follow, however, and puts it in and ties this game up at one apiece. Biglerville gets the answer they needed there as they found themselves down early. Now we've got a fresh game with a little over 2 minutes on the clock. Bunch takes this face-off, goes to the sidewall where the Greensburg team's able to take control of it. There's a nice tip pass in front of the net, but defended well by Greensburg. Now, Greensburg looking to try to launch their offense. A couple Biglerville defenders there in the corner with good touches, though. They're able to clear the zone. Blah up with it, looking for a double tap of his own, and it gets his little assist from Bunch on the demo. Bunch leaves it for Blood, then just goes and tries to find a defender to take out because, let's face it, those defenders have been in the right place all day long. So getting in their face and bumping them out of the way is sometimes the best way to clear some space for your teammates. Get that defense out of position. Blah saw it. He took advantage with an incredible double tap and a sharp angle to boot off to the back wall as Evanders ties this game up with a beautiful little dribble. Gets a nice touch off the sidewall. Only one to meet Blah, and he manages to just tip it past him into that upper right-hand corner. Really tough to save there as this game is back to even. Vino with a pass over to Bunch, but no, defended. Bunch will wait for the rebound. Oh, it gets past him, however, right to Blah. Blah now in the corner, taking control, looking for a possible centering pass. No, cleared away by Evanders. Kept in the zone by Vino. Now on the counterattack with a centering touch from Evanders. Nobody crashing home as Bunch is able to clear that one safely to the corner. Greensburg again with another offensive look. Saved by Blah. Blah now with one to beat. Takes to the air, tries to 50 it in, wins the 50, and that one just trickles in with enough pace to beat the incoming defender from Greensburg. See, Evanders takes a good 50, but Blah gets the better of it, and it just finds its way into the net, giving Biglerville the lead 3-2. Vino takes this face off, goes up the sidewall for Blah. Blah ends up leaving it for Bunch. Little bit of a hidden trick play there. Does not pay off as Greensburg's able to save it. Biglerville with the 1-goal lead. Don't want to get too carried away with too much offensive pressure here. You always want to make sure you leave at least one person back to cover any quick counter attack open nets as Bunch almost puts that one home and gives Biglerville a 2-goal cushion. But instead, this one's going to get cleared all the way back to Biglerville zone where Vino is smartly waiting back, able to collect it. Takes it to midfield. Now dumps it into the zone. Biglerville back on offense. Bunch being really patient right here. Again, clock is your friend. Kill as much clock as you can. Controlling that ball as long as you can. Definitely something Biglerville wants to do here. As Blah, speaking of which, takes great control all the way across the field. Dumps it in. Now Vino. Again, just a soft shot, not a real powerful one, but you don't need a powerful one. Sometimes the powerful ones end up in big, long clears the opposite direction. Sometimes just put it soft in front is all you need to do if you're trying to kill clock. Right now, 1 second left. This ball hits the ground. This game's over, but Biglerville is looking for one for the road as this one hits the ground with the ball about a quarter of the way into the net. They didn't need it, however. Biglerville takes game 2, and they take the series lead 2-0. We'll be right back with game number 3. And we are back as both teams take to the field for game number 3. For Biglerville, it will be Vino on the face-off as this one goes to the sidewall. Bunch is there to gather it. Tries to put a shot on net. I think that was going just a bit wide. Doesn't matter as Greenberg was there to save it either way. Now Greensburg manages to clear the zone. Vino is there to intercept it and put it back on the offensive side. He has a tip off the sidewall and puts it past the defender. Vino strikes first here in game number 3, putting Biglerville on top 1-0, where they have been for most of this series, save for that first goal in game number 2. That was the one and only time Greensburg's had a lead so far in this series, but it is early. There's plenty of time left. Again, this is only game 3 in a best of 7. Biglerville currently leading 2-0, but plenty of time left for Greensburg to change that narrative, as Greensburg with a great pass in front. Bluz there to clear it. Ducky keeps it in the zone, however. Now looking for a centering touch. Ends up being a double commit with his teammate, so unfortunate for Greensburg. They kind of get out of position there. Biglerville is able to take possession as a result, although still struggling to clear their zone. They just managed to do so now. And Vino with another great shot, but this one just goes off the post, as Greensburg is now going to be able to grab their control, try to clear zone. No, kept in by Bunchen. What a shot. What a save. That one's knocked to the corner. Now Vino with a shot attempt. Redirected by Bunch. I don't know if that redirect attempt was needed. That might have been going in without it. As Vino says, that's all right, I'll get it on the rebound, and puts this one in. What an offensive onslaught there. Blah put it on the backboard. Comes right up front. Vino well read. Shot just hits the crossbar and deflects down and in, putting Biglerville on top 2-0. Blah wins this face-off. Caught in the corner by Vanders. Takes it with a little bit of a dribble off the sidewall. Vino goes up to meet him. Manages to bump him off. Lets the ball fall safely to Bunch, where Bunch will take control. A little bit of dribble. Wins the 50. Leaves it for Blub. Some might say Blub pushed him off the ball there. But Vino dumps it back in the zone for Biglerville, but nobody hits that on the crash. Biglerville's going to have to reset here. But even with that missed on the opportunity, they managed to keep the ball in the offensive zone. Now Greensburg does manage to clear it, gets a great shot, but 50 there by Bunch. And, oh, Blow, what a save, as that ball looked like it was headed in off of the bounce. But Blow went up and meet it right on the goal line and manages to keep it out. Biglerville now looking to play a little more defense than they played for most of the series, as Greensburg's keeping this ball in the zone. Blub makes a good touch. Vanders is there to dump it back in, but he gets demolished for his effort. Biglerville finally clears the zone, but it goes right to the recently respawned Vanders, who's going to take this up off the back wall and put it right back in the zone. Oh, Vino says no, we're going to go back on our offense, thank you very much. As now Bunch, unfortunately sails right over his head. Here comes the Vanders. Gets a good pop-up, but no boost to go up and follow that one. Vino may try to make a touch off the backboard, but he gets the pass instead. And Greensburg is going to score a goal off of... it looks like neither player managed to get that touch. Just falls harmlessly in front, and the crashing attacker for Greensburg is able to put that one home. Greensburg pull within 1 with plenty of time left on the clock. Biglerville, with a scoring opportunity, but he sails just over the ball. Blow puts a shot on, saved, kept in by Bunch. Blow looking to challenge here around midfield. Good job maintaining control by Vanders, who takes it over top, puts the ball dangerously in front of Biglerville's net, but it's just knocked to the side and now cleared by Blah. Nice little redirect attempt there from Bunch of the Hunch. Sails just a little bit wide. Blah gets a touch. Ends up being a pass to Vino. Vino up to Blah. Blah back to himself out of the corner. No, Vino's going to crash and score the goal. Biglerville putting on a beautiful passing display there. Vino to Blah. Back to Vino. Hard to defend. Good solid touches and coordinated touches like you just saw there. Biglerville putting on a show. Greensburg with a minute and a half, down by 2. You don't want to go down and be forced into the reverse sweep situation. You don't want to go down 3-0. They've got to be feeling like we've got to figure out how to score 2 goals right here, right now. They're going to be starting crashing these balls and challenging them a lot more. Expect, as you can see, there's a ball met at midfield. Blah says, you know what, I'm just going to take it all the way back if you're going to challenge and go up over your heads. And over their heads he does. Gets this ball to Bunch in the corner. Bunch tries to put a shot on net, but it just hits the backboard. And Greensburg is now trying to clear the zone, but kept in by Vino. Another clear attempt, kept in this time by Bunch. To Blah. Blah's going to pass it across. Vino's going to take it. Again, just pressure coming out here from Biglerville, but big clearing touch. Greensburg needed that to give their defense some time to boost back up and get reset. But really, they don't want to be on defense anymore. They need an offensive possession, so a big booming clear is not what they need. They need a controlled clear. Are they going to be able to get it here? No. Blub takes the back pass to Vino. Vino goes up the sidewall with it. Now Bunch crashes in. Tries to get a centering pass. Well, it gets tipped away, but this one's falling dangerously in front. Bunch with a shot, but what a save. However, with now just 5 seconds remaining here in the game and up by 2, Biglerville will now be guaranteed to go up 3-0 in the series. They are on game point. We'll be right back with game number 4 after a very short break. Do not go anywhere. And both teams are on the field ready to take on game number 4 as Vino takes this face off for Biglerville. Blah fakes it, leaves it for Bunch. Bunch dumps it in, but it's saved. Now Blah, there's no defenders home. He just doesn't get up enough to it with no boost to be able to put that one home off the backboard. And now Greensburg looks to launch a little bit of a counterattack out of the defensive zone of their own. Let's get collected here midfield, intercepted by Blah. Greensburg with a bit of a double commit, maybe getting a little bit too aggressive, maybe not used to playing with aggression and not sure how to avoid that double commit. As Ducky will clear that one off of the, look like it's just going off the corner, but Bunch sneaks this one in the lower left-hand corner. I did not even think that one had the pace to really threaten going in. I figured this was going to be an easy save, but it kind of caught Evanders in a weird situation where he was kind of at a standstill and like he needed to not have any more momentum to carry him past the ball. He might have hit the brakes too much, didn't hit the gas soon enough. Whatever the case may be, that ball just gets by him, and Biglerville find themselves on top here again in game number 4. Bunch with a shot. Big save. This one's knocked safely to the side. Evander's going to just dump this one on net with no boost. Relying on his teammates as he tries to cycle back, but the teammates weren't guarding the net. Again, maybe just trying to get a little bit too offensive-minded. And you have to understand why. You're down a goal. You need to reverse sweep. You cannot lose another game. But that puts you in precarious situations where goals like that can happen. And good on Biglerville for recognizing the situation and just lobbing that one on net. And it manages to get in, but Ducky responds right back. Off of the ensuing face-off, Anders takes his kickoff. Comes to the middle, just a good cheat by Ducky, and nobody there for Biglerville to challenge it. Greensburg pulled back within 1. Bunch taking the ball at the corner, getting a little bit, maybe put a little shuffle in footwork there, a little bit of hey, look what I'm going to do. Just trying to fake them out, buy some more time. A little bit early to be killing time. There's over 3.5 minutes here left in game number 4. But maybe just trying to wait to see what they're doing before he committed to a play. As Vino takes a 50. Tries to follow, but that was going to get intercepted by Ducky. Blah deletes Ducky from the field. Now with a flip reset. Oh, look for another one, but doesn't quite get it. As Greensburg with a shot off of the counterattack. It's defended well. The ball's still in front of the net. This one's going on net for Greensburg, but Blood with a save, tips it to the side, and Biglerville managed to avoid a good threat there from Greensburg-Salem. Vanders collecting this ball at midfield, takes it to the air with some control, tips it past challenging Blah, but ends up falling safely for Vino. Now Blah looking to maybe get some blocking. Oh, but it's caught by Vanders. The Vanders trying to put the shot on net. Blah gets up to it, gets a piece to just deflect it high. Close one. Again, another great offensive opportunity here from Greensburg. If they can keep this up and just find a way to get one to go in the back of the net, we could have a tie game here. Biglerville staying sound for the moment defensively. As Vino now tries to clear the zone. Nope. Leaves it for Blood. Blood will be able to clear the zone. Gets a bump. Tips this one. Trying to maybe get it centered. Leaves it for Bunch. Bunch now tips it center. Tries to do it himself. The pass. Well defended there. And almost cleared the zone, but Blood keeps it in. Now with a pass over for Bunch. Unfortunately tips it right underneath of him. As he landed on top of the ball, got a flip reset out of it. No harm, no foul as Biglerville, again, doesn't necessarily need to score, but scores are nice as they give you a little bit of a breathing room, and Bunch says, I will go ahead and take care of that, as he tips this one in just over the defender. Well-placed shot, hits the crossbar, goes down and in. Biglerville on top by 2. Just over a minute and a half remaining. Not a lot of time for Greensburg to respond, but at the same time, plenty of time for them to respond. But Blah, off of the face-off, takes control off the sidewall, gets the flip reset to beat. Was that did he get 2 resets? No, I think it was just 1 off of that one. But just takes it to the Greensburg-Salem defense on that one, and manages to buy Biglerville yet even more breathing room. A 3-goal lead with a minute and a half remaining. I got to say, it's not mathematically impossible, but it feels pretty improbable at the moment. Although Biglerville, now the ball dangerously in front of their net in the zone. Ducky with a shot, just thwarted by Blah as he manages to get enough of that ball to force it to go to the corner. And this is exactly what I'm talking about. This Biglerville defense, they're so good to recover, even when they look like they're out of position. They're so good at making just the touches they need to just keep that ball in the net. It's so hard to score 3 goals against them in a game, much less in now less than a minute, as Blood puts one off the backboard and cleared aside there by Vanders. Bunch keeps it in the zone. Vanders tries to meet it, but Bunch tips this one now dangerously in front of the net. There's Blood crashing, but it was Vino crashing, but managed to get cleared to the side by the defense. Now Vino with a touch off the backboard and cleared out as Blood's going to chase this down. Takes it himself off the sidewall. Nice flip to get reset, and then gets a flip reset. Manages to put that shot on net, but saved by the defense. Bunch just pushing that ball carrier off the ball, but it ends up resulting in a great pass anyway that Vino stays home for, manages to make the save, and with seconds remaining, Biglerville have taken game 4. They've taken this series. They will be back in action next week, Monday at 3:30 with round 2 of the playoffs, otherwise known as the quarterfinals. So tune in then. Thank you so much for joining us. It's been another great series by this Biglerville team. Hope you enjoyed the show as much as I did. Again, we'll see you next week. Go Biglerville.